So now that the dust has settled and we'll have a new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in Oleksander Usyk, I thought I would take a look at where Tyson Fury went wrong. Before we get into it, what a great fight. It certainly lived up to expectations because a lot of people thought it was going to be a chess match, but both guys got straight down to work and I was on the edge of my seat from start to finish. I'd done the live stream on the Pain Game YouTube channel with True Geordie and all the lads. And before the fight, I did predict Usyk to win by points or possibly a late stoppage, rounds 7 to 9, and I wasn't far away with my predictions. I've made it clear I'm a huge Oleksander Usyk fan, but as the fight drew near, there was part of us really wanting to support Tyson Fury. Maybe it's just because he's British, I don't know, and without doubt I really respect what he's achieved in boxing. Maybe it was just down to the magnitude of the fight, and I think, having a British fighter having the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world, I think it just really meant something. I was surprised at how many people thought that Tyson Fury won the fight. In my opinion, Oleksander Usyk was a clear winner. Yes, Tyson Fury had some success, and he definitely won some rounds, but for me it was Oleksander Usyk controlling the fight. It was him dictating the pace. He threw more shots, he landed more shots, he landed more power shots, and we're seeing round 9 what happened. It was an absolute destruction job, and I don't know how Tyson Fury stayed on his feet. I've got to give him huge credit for that. For me, round 9 was the icing on the cake. It took all the debate out of the equation and it sealed the deal. I do think in round 9 the fight could have been stopped and I wouldn't have questioned it. But instead, the referee gave him a count, and I understand that because it was the ropes that was keeping him up. But one thing I can say is, fair play to Tyson Fury, you can never count him out. I don't know, after taking a beating like that and being out on your feet, how he came back in round 10 and 11 and 12 and was able to compete. So I've got to give him a mass amount of credit because he's certainly built of different stuff. It's unbelievable. One mistake he made, he didn't start fast enough. I said from the off, he can't allow Oleksander Usyk to get into a rhythm and dictate the pace. You've got to put a dent in him early, gain his respect. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill battle. I know this is easier said than done because we're talking about two elite fighters. And Oleksander Usyk is a master at his craft, but that's what Tyson Fury needed to do. Because Tyson Fury is the type of fighter that needs to gain confidence, get into a rhythm, get into his stride. But this is the tactics that Tyson Fury needed, because he's a confidence-based fighter. He's the type of fighter, when he gains confidence and gets relaxed and finds his rhythm and flow, he gets better. Until he finds that, he struggles. It did make it hard because Oleksander Usyk started fast, as he always does, and in the very first round landed a backhand and got Tyson Fury's attention. Straight away letting Fury feel his power, letting him know that he's the boss. Also letting him know that this little rabbit means business. Oleksander Usyk done exactly the same to Anthony Joshua in the very first round. He gets in there and stamps his authority straight away. I think Usyk's power is often a surprise to his opponents. But it's not just the power, it's the accuracy. And they often don't see the punches coming because he disguises his punches so well. And it's the punches you don't see that do the damage. I think in round 3 or 4, Tyson Fury started to find his rhythm and he started to have success. He started to relax and gain confidence, and that's when Tyson Fury is at his best. In those rounds, definitely 4, 5 and 6, they were definitely Tyson Fury's rounds. And he showed in that period how to win. Because in those rounds, he was giving Oleksander Usyk all sorts of problems. The movement, the feints from Tyson Fury, Oleksander Usyk was really struggling with. Despite Tyson Fury winning those rounds, it was taking a lot out of his tank. Because he was having to fight at a pace that he's not used to. Usyk was losing the rounds, but he was on the front foot, making Tyson Fury really have to work. I think the heat in Saudi definitely played its part, because you could see that Usyk was struggling. And normally at that stage in the fight, he's in full flow. But you could see he definitely wasn't firing on all cylinders. In those rounds where Fury was having success, he definitely frustrated Oleksander Usyk, and he definitely slowed him down a little bit with those lovely body shots. But it wasn't enough to really put a dent in Oleksander Usyk. He needed to try and get him on the back foot, and he didn't do that enough. I think the cut Fury had previously got changed the way he approached the fight. because I don't think he wanted to get too involved and get too close in case that cut reopened. I think that's the reason he chose to just box and move. But I think he needed to use his size and his physical presence to really slow Usyk down. Because despite Fury having a great engine for a heavyweight and for a man who's 6'9", we knew he wasn't going to be able to compete with Usyk because he's come from the cruiserweight division, so he's used to fighting at a far higher pace. So I knew unless you could knock Usyk out, which I knew would be a difficult task because he's got such great movement and such a good defence, the only chance he really had was to be able to slow him down. So I definitely think the cut played its part and it changed the way Fury approached the fight. I don't think he wanted to risk that cut opening up again, and I think he was relying that he could outbox him and eventually catch him with a big shot and knock him out. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. In round 7, Usyk started to find his way back into the fight. And in round 8, he caught Fury with a big backhand, which caught him right on the nose, and it changed the fight because there was clear nose damage on Fury, and you could see that he was in discomfort, and it was obviously affecting his breathing, and it totally changed the fight. Fury's whole body language completely changed. You could see the confidence just drain from him. He was like a different person. I think he knew he was in trouble. And Usyk definitely sensed it. He could taste blood. And he ramped up the pressure and really put it on Fury. Another mistake he made was having a low backhand or having it out in front of him, which left a gap for Usyk's overhand left. And he does this by habit because most of the time with him being so big, he can lean away from shots and make people miss. But with Oleksander Usyk, he really steps in with his shots and closes the gap so quickly, and he was able to land that shot. This is a common mistake with tall fighters or fighters who like to lean back from shots. Muhammad Ali used to do the same thing, and he got caught a few times in his career and got dropped off a left hook by making the same mistake. It happened against Joe Frazier and also against Henry Cooper. In round 9, it went from bad to worse. Usyk caught Fury with a 1-2 and Fury was hurt, and then Usyk went in for the kill. Fury got punched from one side of the ring to another, and somehow he stayed on his feet. Well, really it was only the ropes keeping him up, and as we know, the referee gave him a standing count. And somehow he survived the round. I don't know how. But fair play, his ability to recover is unbelievable. Tyson Fury's corner was a shambles. I've never seen anything like it. We had Sugar Hill, we had Andy Lee and John Fury all shouting instructions at the same time. I've never seen nothing like it. How's a fighter meant to take in instructions from 3 different people? It's madness. It's hard enough to take instructions of one person when the fight's going well, but when you're in a crisis and you've had your brains punched to bits, you can hardly breathe, and then you've got 3 different people giving different instructions. It's impossible. The idea in a corner is to calm a fighter down, get him to regulate his breathing, maybe give him a drink, maybe give him a spray of water to cool him down, and then give him some basic instruction, some simple information that he can follow. When there's multiple coaches in the corner, the idea is, during the round, they talk to each other, decide the plan, and in the minutes break, one coach gives the fighter the instructions. Was it a mistake to bring in John Fury? I'm not too sure. Maybe during the camp, he played his part and was an asset to the team. But when it comes to being in the corner on fight night, maybe it was a mistake. Because sometimes when you've got a fighter and his father, there's too much emotion involved and it just doesn't work. You need someone who can think clearly in a high pressure situation with not too much emotion involved. Let's just take a look at the mayhem in the corner.
Quit pulling back or you're getting caught.
Box now, move like
Win these 2 rounds, go Tim, and you won it. You've won the fight.
Post-fight, Fury said he thought he won the fight. He also said that his corner thought he was winning the fight and he just needed to keep doing what he was doing. Had he knew that he would have went out there and tried to knock Usyk out. That tells me there was clear confusion in the corner. Bearing in mind, Fury was definitely concussed. Because at the end of the fight, he shouted, "Happy New Year" to everyone. So he obviously didn't know what day or month or year it was. So what's next for Tyson Fury? It's already been reported that he intends on taking the rematch. Another question, how is Tyson Fury going to be mentally after suffering his first defeat as a pro? Especially after the beating he took in round 9. I do think Tyson Fury has got the mental strength to come back, because we've seen the things that he's overcome in the past. But has he got the confidence in the rematch to go in there and be the boss? Because he now knows he can be hurt off the smaller man, the middleweight, in his words. Tyson Fury is an extremely intelligent fighter, so he knows what he needs to do more than anybody. He knows better than anyone, because from the outside looking in, it's completely different. Because as a fighter, when you're actually in there with an opponent, you see things differently, things that you can't see from the outside. Like someone's speed, the power, the timing. It's completely different when you're actually in there. Now that Fury has been in there with Oleksander Usyk, he fully understands how good Usyk is. Fury now knows how much better and fitter he needs to be. So he knows when he goes back to training, he really needs to go to hell and back. Because anything less for Oleksander Usyk is just not good enough. One key thing that Fury must do is stay in the gym. He cannot let himself go. He definitely needs some time off to recover, spend some time with his family, but not too long. He needs to get back in the gym and train harder than ever because he now knows he needs to reach new heights. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe and go watch this video next.
I love you.